Okay, so I read Love on the Brain. I loved it so much, but do you want to give everybody who maybe hasn't read the blurb yet or just bought it without even reading the blurb, which of course most people would, do you want to give a quick rundown of the delicious plot of this book?
Of course. So Love on the Brain is the story of B, who is a neuroscientist, and she is kind of like having a little bit of a bad time in her career, but she is asked to lead a very important project at NASA. And she is, of course, over the moon about it. And she's like, okay, this is everything is coming up now, except that then she finds out that she's going to have to co-lead the project with the guy who used to be her grad school nemesis back when they were doing their PhDs. And, you know, it's a romance novel. So, of course, they end up together. And yeah, the book is about them getting together and stuff.
She thinks that he can't stand her, and he so obviously can stand her.
He truly hates her so much.
Yeah, hates her.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. And I think one of my favorite parts of this book is that, because you write from the heroine's point of view. But because we get to, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but we do get to see a little bit of him, a little bit of him behind the scenes through his Twitter account. And that was so satisfying to get to like get his like little thoughts about like what happened during the day. It was so, I just love that.
That was actually a really nice trick that my agent thought of. She was like, because that's how it works with me. I really need someone to tell me how to fix my book. And my agent was like, you know what? Like, what if they communicated? Like, what if they had secret ways of communicating, but they don't know that they're communicating with each other? You know, that you've got mail trope. So that was like such a great idea. So really cheers to my agent.
It was a really good idea. Wow, your agent gives you ideas? Like
your agent doesn't give you ideas.
No, new agent time. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
so
I'm very happy to introduce you to my agent, by the way.
Well, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
No. So that's kind of your sneaky way of getting the hero's point of view. You're not like really a fan of writing from the hero's point of view, or do you love it and you're just mostly from the heroine?
You know what's funny? I remember like years and years ago, I don't even remember what book of yours it was, but he was a construction worker and she was like this rich girl, like Harris, and he was super in love with her.
There's two of them that are coming to mind. One is Asking for Trouble. Is that what you're thinking of?
It was like it was a series of 3. They were okay. Yes. I thought it was Make Me, but I didn't want to mix it up with the other 2 that had similar titles.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, but anyway, I remember like you actually like I remember reading the hero's point of view of that book. Like, I don't know, like I think I consumed those pages. I actually love to read heroes' point of views. Like, it just, especially when they're super horny and like super in love with the girl, and like they're trying not to show it, and like it's just, I love it so much. I just have I think I need to practice or something.
It's hard. It really is hard because I feel like you have the same sort of like, you have the same situation as me where you want your heroes to be really in love from the first page, kind of like, yes. And so it's hard because there is no progression from that. Like, it really is like they're starting out at a 10 and it's hard to like show any growth when they're already there. Yeah.
How do you keep the tension up if you know what's in the head of the hero? And it's like, I actually, it's something that I have been trying to work on. Like, when I read books, I've been trying to like really take notes on how, you know, writers that I really love are writing these heroes' point of view and make it so enjoyable, because I want to start and I want to learn how to do it. But
you just gotta make them really damaged, and so they don't think they deserve the heroine.
And I
There's
love
your
that.
secret.
I truly love a self-loathing man.
I mean, it's like, I had a panel with Sarah McLean over the weekend, and we were talking about that. Like, just the more damage, the better. Like, they really need to hate themselves.
I truly appreciate that. Like, it's they hate each other. They're not worth it. They're like, I'm never gonna be worthy of her.
I'm unlovable. She'll never love me back. Yeah,
and
she
they are
deserves
like
better.
the hottest guy. They are like
I know.
super
like
dependable.
Six-pack abs. She hates me. She'll never like me.
That is all I want to read and write. I just want to be very honest about this. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so speaking of men, let's talk about Levi. We love a pining cinnamon roll hero. Your last hero was famously inspired by Adam Driver. So was there another like celebrity that inspired Levi, or was he just out of your imagination?
So okay, I don't have the book here, but if you like look at the cover, the model that we used for the cover was John Krasinski from The Office. So that's
yes.
It's one of the things.
I can totally see that.
It's one of those things that like when people see, they're like, oh my God, yes. But like maybe it's a little bit less obvious than the first cover. So people are not like, wait, is this the biography?
I'm never going to see it any other way now. Like, no, I'm going to have to go reread the book. Just seeing it, John Krasinski and his place. But ripped like John Krasinski from like
Jack Ryan.
From Jack Ryan. Yes.
He has been doing so well. I just want to say, John, keep it up. You're doing great. I also am like in love with his wife, so whatever. But like, I watched The Office for the first time during the pandemic, and then I wrote this book during the pandemic. I wrote it while I was on sub with the Love Hypothesis, which was about 40 years of being on sub. So, yeah. So like, basically, I definitely, it's John Krasinski. I was in my Jim and Pam feelings. I was deep in my Jim and Pam feelings.
Oh my God. I mean, I feel like Jim and Pam feelings, you have to stop watching the last 2 seasons. Like, end the wedding and just don't go back.
It's just, I feel like they had to introduce some kind of conflict, and then the conflict that they started introducing. No, I agree. My favorite season is the third one, which is the one where like there's the love triangle with Karen, and he's obviously still in love with her, but he's really
when they go to the beach day and she walks across the hot coals and she's like, you were my friend, you were supposed to be my friend, and none of you guys came. That scene.
I know. It's like you really see the growth in her. Like it's something that I literally, it's something I always say that it's like the persuasion season of The Office, because it really is the same. It's such a similar arc to like Anne in Persuasion, where like she is with the guy and then she loses the guy, she loses the guy, and then like she really finds herself, and I love her so much.
She's just had that like burst of bravery and like confidence. So it was like, I was like cheering for Pam.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we've mentioned, there's a lot of love for women in STEM in this book. And in case anybody's wondering, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. For those of you who don't know, I knew. I didn't have to Google it.
Okay, but I remember the first time that like someone said STEM, like it wasn't that long ago that someone said STEM. I think I was already in my PhD actually. Someone said STEM and I was like, I have no idea what is happening.
Well, I knew like what it pertained to. I just didn't know like exactly what the acronym was, but now I do.
Same. I'm right there with you, honestly.
You're teaching me things by like your books are teaching me like, the occipital lobe. I know what that is now.
It's all I wanted. I just wanted to teach neuroscience through mild porn. That's really what I want.
She's sneaking it in. She's teasing you with the BJs, and then she's putting in like actual knowledge. Yeah. So we learn about women in STEM, but also we see these like true to life difficulties that like women face in this field. And I'm just curious, like how closely do these situations mirror real life? And have you experienced this kind of thing as a woman in STEM in real life?
Definitely some of it, and definitely I've had, if not me personally, I've had like friends who have had that experience. Like the first book had like a big kind of Title IX plot, and I had a friend who was going through a Title IX trial back when I was writing the fan fiction. It's really I feel like I take out, especially in Love on the Brain, I take a lot of the conversations that B talks about having with her friend. I do not recall whether her name is Anne or Annie, because I haven't read that book in a while, but it's one of the two.
Annie.
Annie. Thank you, Tessa. Okay. Can you tell that I am writing a totally different book right now?
Yeah. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm like 5 books like away from the one that's coming out now. Yeah.
Okay, but I was reading your announcement. You have like 3 books out next year, and I was like, I want to be her, but I would crumble under the pressure. Like I would never be able to do this. It was like fear and admiration.
I think someday you will. I think like it really, I could never have done it like 9 years ago, you know, like it's something that like got like the muscle, like, you know,
really?
The muscle, like practicing with the muscle, and it strengthens and you get faster at it.
At writing?
Yeah.
The like releases get less anxiety inducing?
No. No, that part stays the same.
You are doing so well. You were like telling me all these things that were making me happy, and now you're like, no, you're always gonna be anxious.
You're doing so well. I'm like, it's really particularly a pleasure to see somebody who's so kind and so sweet and so deserving to have such success with their books. So and like just the fact that they're so clever and enjoyable, like it's so nice to see people enjoying those kind of books that like they're really teaching you things, and they're smart. Yeah. You sip it a lobe. I'm gonna be like, next time my daughter's sick, I'm just gonna be like, I think it might be her a sip it a lobe. I'm just gonna suggest that to the doctor to sound smart. Yeah.
Please do that. Please do that.
I will.
I will give you $10 if you do that.
Okay, it's a deal. So let's see. Do you have to like research any of the scientific stuff in your book, or do you just already know it? Like,
well, so for this book, like the research that she does is very similar to research I have done in the past, or to research that like I just kind of know. Like I teach or I'm taking a year off now, but like up until literally 3 months ago, I was teaching neuroanatomy, you know. So like it's kind of stuff that I know because I have to, because otherwise my students know it, and then they like then they realize that I don't know anything, and all the like the house of cards that I build in my classes just crumble. So I cannot. It's stuff that I have to know. Yeah, it's very hard to pretend. Like students have this idea that like professors know stuff, but like 90% or the professors that I talk to, most of them actually learn the stuff right before the lecture. But you know, yeah, so because we're not really teaching stuff that is necessarily our area, you know.
Yeah, so it's like, well, you're gathering the important information and relaying it to them. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But
I'm talking like I went to school longer than a couple of years. I'm like, yes, I understand this idea of the lecture. I don't.
Okay, but like you knew how to make the most of the lectures, and like you knew when to read romance novels in the lectures, like the lulls.
I knew how to hide my novel inside of a textbook. Yeah,
that is the most important thing. Actually,
it's the most important skill to have.
Yeah.
So okay, I would like to know if you noticed, and like I noticed, and I think a lot of other people noticed, that this book has a little bit of extra steam in it compared to the Love Hypothesis. It's a bit steamier, and I approve wholeheartedly.
So I would like to thank my editor. So this is what happened. So I thought, like, I remember when we were on sub with the Love Hypothesis, we actually cut a lot of sex scenes, or like we cut quite a bit of sex from the Love Hypothesis, because you know, the Love Hypothesis was originally a fan fiction. The fan fiction had chapters and chapters and chapters of sex, of course. That was the point. And we cut a lot of that because we just thought that we would have a higher chance to like get it published. My agent and I, like, we talked about it, and then we decided to, like, you know, cut down on the sex. But then I remember it was like at the beginning of the Love Hypothesis coming out, and like people were talking about it so much on TikTok and like quoting the sex scenes. And I remember, like, I wrote an email to my editor saying, Okay, so clearly there is a good reception for sex scenes. Can I add sex scenes, more sex scenes in Love on the Brain? And she let me, and it was amazing.
Well, she's obviously like they're doing the Lord's work, because that is we have now benefited greatly from these suggestions. It is so hot. Levi, I don't know, it was something about him that like really was extra hot. Maybe it was just the description of him being so big and so
John Krasinski, Jack Ryan,
John Krasinski, and like the scene when he puts his big thigh in between hers and pushes her up against the wall, and I was just like, oh, what's happening? My hormones went insane.
This is the best compliment, like especially from you, because again, okay, I don't know if other people do it, but like I very often read just the sex scenes of a book. Like I haven't really. Is it just me, or do other people do it? Is the
weird? Go back and read sex scenes from other people's books.
Yeah, but like I have already read the book, not necessarily to get in the mood, just to read them because I really like them.
Oh, just for fun? Oh my God, yeah! Everybody in this chat. There is nobody here that does not do that.
Okay, I'm so glad. Okay, anyway, and I do it a lot with your books. Just
thank you.
Out there.
Do you have a particular favorite? I have to know so I can go read it.
Okay, but that is why I was talking about Make Me. Like there is a specific scene where like, okay, you know what I'm talking about? Like he stops his truck, and like it's not even like a real sex scene, but he stops his truck and like he has a picture of her, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I like the whole point of view that he has when he talks about it. Like it's just such a sorry. Hi.
He has this. He has like a picture that he took, and it accidentally has a panty flash in it. No, it's so problematic now. If you think about it.
Okay, no, we are horrible people. Yeah, we are horrible, problematic people. But sorry, I'm here for it.
Me too. Me too. Okay, so do you have a favorite scene in Love on the Brain?
Aside from the sex scenes.
Yeah, aside from those.
Most definitely like the cemetery scene. She gets stuck, she's out running, she's doing this like couch to 5K training, and she gets stuck in a cemetery because it's not even late at night, but the cemetery closes, and she has to call someone to go pick her up. And I just really liked writing about how much she hated the idea of calling him, but she doesn't have anyone else's number except for her RA, who's not picking up, and like she's like, I'm just gonna sleep in here, I cannot call him. But like then of course she can't sleep in a cemetery. And it was just really, I don't know, I think it was just really fun. I really like putting characters in horrible situations and watch them like suffer for some reason.
That was a pretty bad one. You're like, she's running in a cemetery and the gates close. She has one person she can call. I love how he gets there though, and he's like so understanding. He like talks her through it, and she's obviously like getting ready to have a panic attack, and he's like just like one foot over the other. That was when he like really like started being kinder to her.
I really think that there is something about guys that don't like, when they help you, they don't kind of tell you that they're helping. Like there is something subtle about the whole thing where they don't make you feel horrible about the fact that you needed to ask for their help, which is like the opposite of my husband. My husband is the type of person, like, if he loads the dishwasher, he's like, by the way, I loaded the dishwasher. Like,
my husband is the exact same. He's like, so let me tell you everything I've done since you've been in your office. Let me give you a list.
It's like, great, I do all these things without letting you know, but yeah,
you don't know. Yeah, like we do all these things without mentioning them, you know, but they have to like keep track. Classic.
Oh well, yes, anyway, a classy man. I married a very classy man, but aside from that.
So I think we're going to go to the Q&A now. We're going to ask, we're going to see what people have been asking and upvoting in here. So it looks like our first Q&A question is from Melissa. And she says, hey, Allie, what is something non-book related that has brought you joy recently?
Okay, hi. I would like to talk about K-drama. It's like, I am so obsessed right now. I actually have not been able to watch as many K-drama as I was watching them because I am on deadline and I have to write that book. How dare that book take me away from K-drama? But like, it's just everything that I love about romance novels, like this really self-indulgent focus on the love story, the way, you know, the fact that a lot of them are written by women, and so the type of guys are, you know, like the type of guys that we like to read about. I'm obsessed with K-drama.
What's your favorite K-drama? Like, do you have one that you can recommend?
It's so hard. I would say, I think my favorite is Healer, but I would say that the one that I recommend to everyone, it was the first one that I watched. Well, the first one that I watched was Squid Game because it was so big. That's what she said. But I regretted it the second I said it.
You like the long pause. It was like you were trying to decide if you should do it.
I was like,
you can't miss an opportunity. You can't.
it was just so popular at the time, you know, and but like the first one that I watched that was like, this is perfection in art form, was Crash Landing on You. It's perfect, and it's on Netflix, so I feel like probably
Crash Landing on You.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna take it because I haven't watched one. I mean, I watched.
Oh my god, Tessa, you're gonna love it. So
I watched Squid Game, but I haven't watched romance. Like I haven't watched.
No, right. Like Squid Game was very good, but it wasn't romantic. Okay, in my dreams, you watch Crash Landing on You, and then you write me very smutty fan fiction of Crash Landing, because you don't have 3 books to write or to publish.
I know.
You have all the time in the world, so please do that.
I'll make it. I'll make time for you. Okay, so Destiny is asking, Allie, what's your favorite trope, not only to write, but also to read?
That's Omegaverse. It's by far my favorite trope to read and to write. I haven't gotten to write Omegaverse for like traditional publishing, but in fan fiction, it was definitely my favorite to write. And yeah, so basically, that's what I love.
I feel like you love enemies to lovers, though. I really do feel like that's your strongest game. Like you love writing the two that are at the odds at the beginning of the book.
I do love that.
You're good at it too.
It's mostly, I think, because a lot of me writing fan fiction started with writing, like, you know, Rey and Kylo Ren, who are enemies, and then I was also writing a lot of like Spock and Kirk from Star Trek, and they're also kind of enemies at the beginning, so there was that too.
Do you like have, so if you could write fan fiction right now, like do you have somebody in mind, like some
other? I think I would probably write fan fiction about K-drama, because that's most of the fan fiction that I've been reading. That's the stuff that I've been mostly obsessed with. I mean, I just don't really have. I'm not like, I wish I was. There are so many writers, like Katie Roberts was telling me that like she writes fan fiction to kind of like distress and decompress from writing real books, like not real books, but you know what I mean, like from writing, you know, traditionally published or self-published books. I like, for me, it has to be something completely different from writing the whole, you know, relaxing time. I don't know about you, but like
I can't write to de-stress from writing. It's too much of the same thing.
I'm so in awe of the people who are
I take baths is what I do.
That is amazing.
I take really long baths.
I will picture you taking a bath now whenever like I message you on Instagram. She's probably in a bath.
I'm probably in the bath. Yeah, that's actually what I've been obsessed with lately. That's what's giving me, because I just moved and I didn't have a bathtub at my old house, and I have a bathtub now, and so like I immediately went to like Lush and Bath and Body Works, and I bought like all the like bath bombs and like little doodads to go.
I love that. So
now I just like, I go in there and I like, it's actually my reward for hitting my word count.
Not
every single day, but some days it's like,
no, it's a beautiful, like my reward is usually something incredibly unhealthy, like eating 4 ice cream cones, which I have done in a day. So I wish that was my reward. By the way, what is going on with the wallpaper? I have been following the wallpaper saga on TikTok, which is amazing.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't invested in this already, well, I had this really great wallpaper in my old office, it was like this sort of like beautiful kind of jade green color, and it had like a forest sort of motif on it, birds. And then I moved and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get new wallpaper. And then like a couple of nights ago, I had too much to drink and I ordered this wallpaper that I don't like, I was like ready to go.
Beautiful. I
No,
am
you
team
lie.
wallpaper.
You
Team
lie.
wallpaper. No. Wait, are you really not putting it up? My heart.
If you go look at the TikTok comment section, it is so brutal. It is the most brutal place I've ever been. It's it took 10 years off my life. It was so mean. Everybody hated my wallpaper choice. It was like,
actually explicitly asked people to be kind.
I know. I was like, please be nice to me. And they were like, that's a choice. They were so mean. So it was like a fake bookshelf and it was like black, pink, and white. Like that
It was
like,
so beautiful. Come on. I love
and
it.
it was like fashion books. It wasn't even romance. It was like, it was like Vogue and things. It was, so anyways, I have put it away for now and I ordered a new one. So I'm planning on unveiling it this weekend, hopefully. Yeah.
Oh, I'm unveiling it.
Unveiling it.
Okay, wait, what happened if TikTok doesn't like it though? Are we like, I need to know, because I need to know if I have to like organize a group of people to help me get back the old wallpaper.
I know. I don't even know if they make it anymore because I went to that specific wallpaper maker and it was gone. So I might have to go back to my old house, sneak in, break in, like while the new owners are sleeping, take it off the wall, bring it over here. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But yes, everybody stay tuned for that drama.
I would like to still vote for the I want to say the drunk wallpaper, the one that you bought.
I might make like a little picture frame for my desk out of it, just to like remind me of my bad decisions.
Like be scared of TikTok. That's their mind.
They do not pull their punches over there.
They do not.
So Jean would like to know, what do your neuroscience friends think of your other career?
So you know what's really, really funny is that up until like a week ago, I would have said no one knows, because I hadn't told anyone that I was writing. But I actually, I mean, I'm not gonna find the text because it's high up there, but like I was found out by my whole department, like literally last week. My friend Sarah, who teaches in my department, they found out because they saw my picture somewhere and they were like, she sent me this message that was like, when were you gonna tell me about your secret life? And I was like, oh shit, she knows.
But they must have been shocked, like in a good way, because it's not like you know, I mean, this isn't a hobby. Like it's like you really made a career out of it. Like it's a big deal.
You know what's funny is that they knew some parts of it, but like not all of them. So they knew, all of them knew that I was obsessed with Star Wars, because that's like, they knew me as this girl who's obsessed with Star Wars in the department. Like they would, like whenever there was like a secret Santa or something, they would get me Star Wars stuff. But I never went as far as telling them that I wrote very explicit Star Wars fan fiction online, you know, like I never kind of moved there.
You just sound like you're one of your own heroines, basically. It's what you sound. You sound like you're describing like somebody that you would write.
I do. I promise I'm not like trying to write self-insert, but I can only give my main characters my own interests, because otherwise I don't know enough about the topic to like write about it. So they all have to like Star Wars or Star Trek, or the main character in my third book, I turned in my edits yesterday, likes Twilight because I like Twilight. So that's where we're at right now.
We can all relate to that. I feel like I reference Twilight like every third book. Like it's just part of our part of our life. Yeah,
exactly. We grew up with that, and like it really informed all of our, I don't know, romantic feelings, I guess. So
I'm sorry, I still love the first movie the best. Like I think that was the best one. I loved it.
I unironically watched the movies and enjoyed them a lot. And like I know we can talk about it, and there are so many things that are problematic, but Twilight.
But Twilight. So let me see. Caitlin is asking, it means so much to me to see demisexual and asexual spectrum characters. Do you purposefully write characters to be Demi, or does it just sort of happen? I cried when I read Love Hypothesis because it was the first time I saw myself represented in romance novels.
It definitely does sort of happen. Like, I had been writing like Demi characters in fan fiction for a long time without even like I remember I actually didn't even know that word until, you know, when I start like I learned that word from Tumblr. Like before I just thought, you know, like that's, you know, how I see things. Or and so that's how I write. I like to write characters. So that's definitely like yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that kind of just happens to me. I also generally, I think that's part of why I gravitated so much toward fan fiction when it came to reading, because with fan fiction, you already know the characters, so you are very invested in the character, and it feels to you like the characters already know each other. So even when you're reading a smutty fan fiction, it feels like there is this strong connection between them. So I think that's yeah, I think that's what happened with me. Yeah.
Yeah, like you just got built-in context. Like that makes a lot. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Christina is asking regarding the novellas that she is obsessed with. She said, will you see more of those characters from your novellas?
So I think that so I wrote like an extra chapter for the print version. I think at some point in the new year, the 3 novellas are gonna come out like in a anthology type of thing, and there's gonna be an extra chapter, and you're gonna see the 3 couples kind of like in the future. But I also really want to try to incorporate those 3 couples in the next few books, because, for example, I'm incorporating B and Levi and Adam and Olive in my 3rd book. So yeah,
have you told anybody this yet, or is this breaking news?
No, I mean, well, I think I have said that there was gonna be like an Adam and Olive cameo. I don't know if I said about B and Levi, but I know that if I write, and I really want to write more books set in STEM. I also want to write other things because, you know, because I like Omegaverse. But aside from that, like I hope that I will get to like bring in characters and couples and stuff. You know, I hope so.
That's good. Yeah, no, I mean, I love a cameo from a past character. Like, even if it's just like a mention of them, it's like, oh, it's like a little heart like palpitation. Just like you're
so good at like writing interconnected books too. Like that is also a talent, because you have to make the character shine in the book, but like not too much that they overthink. It's such a talent as well that I want to develop at some point.
my editor is so I will always be mostly in love with the characters from the most recent book, and so I tend to give them too much face time in the next book, like when the secondary characters get their story. So I always
but that's what we want.
I know.
We want to see them. I want to know what they're doing. So
I'm kind of famous for like basing an entire series around the wedding of the first couple.
I love it.
Like it's just all that matters.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's like, it is like definitely sort of like something I like to do, is like just drop little nuggets for that secondary characters in the first book, and just like sort of create some intrigue. And I love when other authors do it. I hate it because I'm like, how dare how dare they?
I'm in love with Lisa Kleypas, and I remember reading the first book in I think it was Cold Hearted Rake, and like she introduced Winterborn in that story, and I remember being in physical pain. I was like, I need a Winterborn story, right? Like, who are you? What do you want? Like it was just
remember when authors didn't have social media and you just had to keep going to their website and like seeing if it was out yet? Like I can't remember like the amount of times I went to Julie Garwood's website and just like refreshed her website.
Oh my God. Okay, I have this story, which is like, I was reading Nalini Singh. I think I started reading her when I don't know if I was in high school or like just in college, but I was reading her like, I was obsessed. And I don't know if you read the Side Changeling series, but like I was reading I was waiting for Hawk and Sienna's book. Like it was, teased. You could tell he was so much older than her. This should it should have worked. She was a Psy. He was like this shifter. I was obsessed. Like I could not. Like I was waiting for the book 3 years before it came out. And I remember that like I would go to a website every day, and on Christmas of, I don't know, maybe 2008 or 9 or something, she posted an excerpt and said like, Merry Christmas to everyone, or it was maybe the day before, I don't know. It was unexpected. And I remember thinking, whatever presents I received this year, nothing would be as good as this chapter. And like I would visit her website every day.
Oh, those were the days though. Like I feel like now, like you had like 3 favorite authors, and now there's so many authors to like love, which is a great thing. But it's also like, I remember just like waiting for like the next Bridgerton book even. I remember that, just being dying for the next Bridgerton book. Yeah.
That is so true. I feel like if I had to go check the website of every author that I love right now, that would be like a 4-hour morning routine of just like
yeah, it would be endless. Okay, so Sarah is asking, she's writing her first book and she's stuck on some of the important details of the plot line. Any advice on how to write a first book?
Okay, honestly, I would like to hear from Tessa, because I am also stuck with my plot line of my 4th book. So I would love to have advice from Tessa.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the best advice is to step away from it for a little while and come back and reread it. I don't know, because sometimes when you get to you start like looking at the plot too closely, and you start rearranging it in your head over and over and over and over, you lose track of some important details. Yeah, I don't know. My advice for writing your first book is definitely just get it out, get it on the paper. Even if the plot isn't perfect, just get some sort of draft written and then fix it later. You can't fix a blank page. I'm not the first person to say that. So
that's also the advice that is always given to me, is just like the only thing that a first draft has to do is to exist, and then you can make it pretty and change everything.
Yeah, get a second set of eyes on it. Sometimes the issues are really obvious to somebody else that aren't obvious to you. But like, as long as you have like, if you believe in the story and you like love the characters and you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, like the details can be rearranged, you can fix it. So don't give up, keep writing it. Even if it's crap, my first drafts are still crap,
I hope maybe it will make you feel better knowing that like I'm drafting my 4th book right now and I am struggling. Like I literally, like today I was, trying to like, I'm chugging along, writing these words, and I'm like, this is horrible, but I'm just gonna like write the next sentence. Sometimes you just have to make yourself go ahead. I also feel like there are always scenes that are very clear in my head when I start a book, like, oh, I can't wait for them to reach this moment.
Yeah.
And then there are like the 7 chapters in between these scenes that also need to be written. And like sometimes you just have to kind of go through those chapters so you can write these scenes that are so...
I know. I hate any scenes where the characters aren't on the page, like the main characters aren't on the page together. Like I feel like I'm just struggling to focus when they're not like actively like arguing or making love or like any sort of plot movement with the romance. Like if I'm just writing like a scene with the friends or like a scene with her job, I'm like, oh God, like,
I know. It's like I miss him, I miss her. Why is
I know, like what's going on with them?
Yeah.
But right now what I'm struggling with is that like I have this scene in the book that clearly doesn't fit and I don't want to take it out. I like refuse to take it out. I've moved it now to 3 different locations. It like has no place. It's like a swiftwater rescue scene in the middle of a rom-com. It like makes no sense, and yet I cannot let it go.
I love the idea though, just hearing about it.
If I cut it, I'll send it to you, and that will count as my fan fiction.
I mean, yeah, it's Tessa Bailey fan fiction written by Tessa Bailey. Like, there's nothing better than that. Come on.
It's very meta. Okay, so let's see. We have. Let me see. Oh, Someone's asking what our favorite romances are of the year. Do you have a
Of
favorite
the
romance?
year. Okay, so my like there is something that I just like. It's not out yet, so don't hate me for that. But like I have to talk about it with everyone because I was obsessed. Like I read this book, I finished the book, and then I restarted it immediately because that's how good it was. It's Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne, and it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. And I am, very obsessed with Pride and Prejudice. But this retelling is so special because in this one, like it's a modern day, contemporary Pride and Prejudice, and Darcy is, Darcy Fitzgerald, and he is this guy who wants to basically like gentrify this neighborhood, and Lizzie is fighting against him. So it's just like my catnip. It's so good, and it's coming out in November, but I don't know when. But that was just
Beautiful.
so good.
It
so
sounds really good. What
And
did you say the
then-
name of it was again? What's the name?
Pride and Protest.
Okay, got it.
And then also another book that comes out today, Scandalized by Ivy Owens. It's so good. Like it has, journalist main character, and she basically meets her childhood friend who is now a huge
Like her
Korean
friend's older
star.
brother. I read it too.
Yeah.
I got to read it too.
Yeah,
It's
and
really good.
It's so steamy. It's like it's very Tessa Bailey.
It starts off like very, it hits the ground running with the steam. Like there's no waiting. She's like grimy from her flight. She needs to like borrow
a
shower from somebody in this hotel lobby, and it turns out she like runs into like the older brother of one of her childhood friends, right? And then he turns out to be like this internationally famous K-drama star. Yeah. And
highly recommended. How today? So
it's really good. Also out today is I have actually right here. Heartbreaker by Sarah McLean. I just read, obviously it's historical. It is so delightful. It's like this, it starts off with like a turf war between two London gangs, and then it's like this mad dash, like a duke chasing this thief through London, and it's so romantic. And I love like a heroine who's like really closed off and like doesn't believe in love, and it's got that. So I highly recommend those as well. Yeah.
It's such a good day. I mean, I know it's kind of like horrible to say because my book is out today too, but it's such a good day for new books to be out.
So many good books out. It's true. I'm glad I didn't put one out today.
It must be so hard because like you also self-publish, right? So like how do you choose a release date? I'm happy that my publisher chooses it for me because I wouldn't know when to pick,
I know sometimes when it comes to self-publishing, honestly, it's very much like, okay, I think I can get it done by now. And then I add 3 weeks on top of that, just because like I know something will go wrong, or like just in case, something comes up.
I know. I yesterday my edits for my third book were due yesterday, and around 6 p.m. my editor emails me and she's like, "So what's going on with the edits because they were due yesterday?" And my knee-jerk reaction, without even like my knee-jerk reaction, was to reply in all caps. I thought I had until midnight.
You should have.
And I felt so much like one of my students. It's like, it's amazing. And what's really funny is that my editor I originally told my editor, "Oh yes, I think I had told her I'll have them to you by Friday." And my editor was like, "No, take until Monday." And then I was late on top of that. So
I don't know. I feel like when it comes to edits, like, they have to give you a little bit of slack. They're the worst. It's the worst part. You have to build in time to procrastinate. You have to build in time to like hate everything you're doing and hate your life.
And
like,
usually edits come when you are working on another book. So for me, it's very hard to just like go away from the characters of the book that I'm writing. And I'm like, I don't care about these other people from this other book anymore. Who cares?
No, it's true. It's like you almost like fell out of love with those characters once you finished the story. Like it was like in your head, it's over.
Yeah.
So to go back in there and reopen it, it's like, why are we doing this? It's already written.
You have to go back in there and fix the fact that he has 4 hands in the sex scene. Like, how dare? Come on. Just
no one's gonna notice. Yeah. Okay, so we have, let's see. Do you have any songs that remind you of Levi and B, or maybe Adam and Olive?
So I mean, I feel like there are probably a lot, but like I listen to a lot of Taylor Swift, like a lot, like all the time. And so probably something by Taylor Swift. What could it be? I don't even know.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. You just think of one, and then let me see. Okay. Oh, if you could write books in any other genre, Allie, what would it be?
It's so hard because I really like romance. I mean, I like YA with romance, but I guess it's kind of cheating for an answer.
Yeah, I feel like I will never write anything that doesn't like have romance in it. So when people ask me that question, I'm usually like, I'm gonna write time travel romance.
You're writing, oh my God, you're writing a polyamorous romance. Like aside from the fact that when I saw the cover reveal, I'm sorry, that's the best cover ever.
You like it?
I love it. I love it.
Well, you like my wallpaper, so what do you know?
That's it. Our relationship is over.
Thank God the Zoom is over. Yeah, no, it's like
I love that. Okay, you know what though? What you should do is take that cover and just like wallpaper your entire office with that, and that would like be perfect.
It would actually fit. It would actually fit the color scheme in here with the pink and the teal. Yeah, but I am writing. We're calling it a why choose romance, not like romance with 1 woman and 3 men, and it's definitely a challenge.
I'm excited.
I'm really enjoying it though.
So how does that work? Like, do you have a point of view for each one of the guys?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
And I started off not having one. I started off, it was all going to be from the woman's point of view. And then like, after a while, like I felt like they were too, I don't know, like they were too one-dimensional, because like I wasn't able to get into like, I don't know, like they were just very much like, I was only giving them a third of the amount of time in this each scene than they would normally get. So I feel like I needed to give them some sort of texture.
Yeah.
So then I went back and I started writing scenes from their point of view, and now it's way longer than I was expecting it to be. It's getting out of hand.
I am very excited about it. I mean, if you ever want to like, send it to me early, I am available.
Done.
Hi. Hello.
All right, so I think we have only 2 minutes left. So I'm just gonna say that as a reminder to everybody, the purchase book admission, your signed book plates are going to be mailed tonight, and then you should get them in like 8 to 10 business days. You can get Love on the Brain right now on Barnes & Noble, at Barnes & Noble, barnesandnoble.com, and the book Allie's holding as well. Yeah, go follow Allie on Instagram at Allie Hazelwood, TikTok as well, and I'm on TikTok at author Tessa Bailey. And this was amazing. Thank you so much for joining and asking such cool questions. And I
mean, it's so sad that your lack of recognition of the amazingness of the wallpaper is is ruining our friendship, but I am glad that we did this.
I'm gonna go get it really quick. It's in my closet.
Yes. Okay. That's fantastic. Is there a way to quickly like start a poll so that people can vote on it and tell me that I'm right? It's beautiful.
I'm gonna do a giveaway. I feel like I'm gonna do a giveaway and give it to people who want it, because I got so like I'm still like, I didn't sleep for 2 nights after the way people took me to task on TikTok.
I am here. I want to win that giveaway. Okay, but I am moving too. I'm actually moving in a month, yeah. And I am going to have a new office. Well, and by new office I mean an office, because I don't have an office right now, and I will need wallpaper maybe.
You will need, okay, it's yours. I'm
Exactly.
sending it to you. I have your address. It's going in the mail.
Done.
Done. It's going to a good home.
It will be loved, really loved. I just
Your
want
cats
to
are
know
going to be like,
that. My cats have horrible taste, so it's okay.
they do.
I am the taste maker of the house.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Oh, so should we keep going?
I think I don't know. Oh wait, I'm like, oh my god. I am now I was looking at the chat, and some people are saying really mean things about the wallpaper.
Oh my god, I told you. Don't you dare act surprised.
People have no taste. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, the wallpaper lives on. Sorry, Allie, not a fan. I hate that.
Guys.
Oh my
Okay,
god, this was so much fun. I'm so glad we got to finally talk, like after missing you in
yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, and I mean, bye everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank
and
you
bye,
for buying
Allie.
my book and reading it. But thank you, Tessa, and thank you, Wallpaper. I love you best. I want you to.
All right, happy release day.
Bye.
Bye.